Radio, Rahim, with the chairman, Bob Arum. A successful night for you here. And this is the first super fight with TopRank partnering with PBC.
Well, you must have amnesia because last month we did even a bigger fight partnering with PBC.
At welterweight.
Okay.
So this has been a long anticipated type of deal to work out. How did it play out for you? Did you enjoy dealing with them at these welterweight fights?
We enjoy dealing with them, period. They're good promoters. They're pros. There's never, once a contract is signed, there's never a minute of problems. They're not only cooperative, they add a lot to the promotion. You know, they have some. Al has some really good people in his organization.
With a fight like this tonight and Crawford making the statement he did, Spence is ringside at the initial press conference. There was some talk about who decides whether or not these two get in the ring. If you can work with PBC and you've got a good relationship, what is the hurdle to Crawford Spence?
Well, we got to, realistically, we got to look, or they got to look at the eye. And does he want to go into a major fight now? Having had that detached retina, does he want a tune-up fight? That's something they're going to decide. So I haven't discussed it with anybody on the other side, but next week I'll call Al up and talk to him. And Al has, in addition to if Spence is going to take somebody else, maybe Terence fights Ugas. You understand, this is a business. And tonight, the pay-per-view was exclusive to ESPN. And ESPN has been showing, whether it was with Fury and Wilder or with the UFC, that they're the only entity doing numbers now on pay-per-view. And we at Top Rank have an exclusive with ESPN Plus. So, I think that if people want to do good business, they'll take that into account.
With Crawford being out of his contract now and a fight like this proving that he can compete with the elite at welterweight, which he hasn't had the opportunity to do, has he expressed to you the necessity of being able to make these fights, make unified title fights, to sign a deal going forward?
I don't think it's a unified title. I mean, Terence, like everybody other fighter, looks at the green, the dollars. And maybe a Josh Taylor fight is more lucrative than a Spence fight, considering that if the fight was in the UK, we would absolutely put 70,000 people into a big outdoor stadium this spring. So there's a lot of moving parts here. Now, the Spence fight would do, I think, a very big number. Al and I will sit down and talk about it.
Has Crawford, though, expressed the need to put something like that in the deal to sign going forward? What has he asked you for?
Nothing. It's what Terence is in the position where he can wait and see what we're offering him.
Turning our attention to the fight in the ring, at the stoppage, there was some trepidation about whether or not the ring referee stopped the fight or Porter did. It seemed that Porter did. Do you agree with that decision?
Who am I to, I thought the referee stopped the fight. He was wobbly after the second knockdown. It would have been a good stoppage. So I assumed from where I was sitting that the referee stopped it. Somebody just told me that it was Kenny Porter that stopped it. But whoever stopped it, it was the right decision because you wouldn't want Porter, who's such a great kid and who fought such a great fight, to get hurt.
All the judges had Crawford up, but ringside, listening to the audience and some of my colleagues, some people had Porter up, and not knowing whether or not he could have finished the fight. Do you believe that a rematch might be warranted?
Nobody had Porter up after the 2 knockdowns because that's a 10-7 round. Now, before, it was a close fight, and I could see maybe somebody had Porter up by a round or something like that. But after the 2 knockdowns, it now 3 points. That's a lot of points. And there was about to be another point because he was about to get knocked down again.
Would you regard this as Crawford's most difficult fight?
Probably yes. Probably yes. His most difficult fight because, I think Porter is the best fighter at welterweight or at any junior welterweight that Terence has fought.
And lastly, if I could just ask you about Tyson Fury, who everybody is waiting to find out what his final decision is. Where is he on making a choice for his next fight and the negotiations for that?
I keep telling everybody, Rahim, it's not Tyson Fury. It's up to Joshua. Joshua has a contract for a rematch with Usyk. If Joshua agrees to step aside, Fury and Usyk will fight. If Joshua, who legally has a contract for a rematch, decides he wants the rematch with Usyk, then Fury will look around for another opponent. And since I think everybody wants him to fight his next fight in the UK, it would be either Dylan White or Joe Joyce in end of February or March in the UK.
Have you put any offer to Joshua to step aside? Is there any talks on that regard?
No comment.
Radio Rahim with the chairman, Bob Arum.